There are many iconic horror movies that are actually based on true stories. Horror movies are scary enough on their own, but stories inspired by real events are all more horrifying. In some cases, the terrifying events of a scary movie are actually based on reality. Some of the spooky stories below actually happened in real life. From hauntings, exorcisms, and possessed dolls, there's something creepy in store for everyone. Whether the movies are play-by-play accounts or contain tidbits inspired by real-life horrific events, there's no denying that they will send chills down the spines. Welcome to Cinematic. This video is about horror movies that are inspired by real events. Subscribe to Cinematic, like and share this video, and stay tuned with us. Also, follow our page on Instagram @Cinematic3 and on Twitter, The Cinematic3. Stay tuned with our channel for more such upcoming content. The first one, The Exorcism of Emily Rose in 2005.
Send her help from the holy place, Lord.
And give her heavenly protection.
May the Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
Our Father,
Who art in heaven.
hallowed be thy name.
The movie might be scary, but the true story is truly terrifying. This is based on the life of Annalise Michel, who was possessed by demons so strong that her exorcism took nearly a year to accomplish. It is one of the most famous exorcism movies and it is all real. Next, Dahmer in 2002.
I know you came back here to kill me. It's okay. You want revenge for me attacking you before. You're pissed.
It's an actual biopic about serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, who raped, murdered, and dismembered, and in some cases partially preserved and/or consumed 17 males in Wisconsin between 1978 and 1991. With the exception of the victims' names and a few minor details, the acclaimed horror film was an accurate representation of the atrocious crimes committed by Dahmer. Next, Winchester in 2018.
Do you believe in ghosts, Dr. Price?
I do not believe in anything I cannot see or study.
I feel their presence. In the air, in the walls. It has found us.
Known as one of the most haunted mansions in the world, this house is 7 stories tall and was once home to Sarah Winchester, heiress to the Winchester repeating arms fortune. According to Sarah, the house was haunted by spirits who were killed by Winchester rifles. Throughout her time living in the house, it is said that the construction never stopped because Sarah wanted to appease the spirits killed by the company's firearms. Next, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile in 2019.
What happened to her head?
Then animals could have conceivably done something like
Animals don't do that.
that. I'm not a bad guy.
Though the film itself is not as gruesome as the real events that transpired, it is not for the faint of heart and will give anyone who watches it the creeps. This movie follows the story of the infamous 1970s serial killer Ted Bundy, who terrorized, raped, and murdered young women across America. More importantly, it proves just how extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and wild Ted Bundy really was. Next, The Shining in 1980.
Come and play with us, Daddy. Forever and ever.
The Shining is inspired by hauntings in the Colorado's infamous Stanley Hotel. In 1974, Stephen King and his wife stayed in the isolated and empty hotel, which ultimately gave him both an airy feeling and the idea for his horror novel turned film, The Shining. During his stay, he slept in a room with a haunted history and reported seeing figures, hearing unexplained noises, and had some of his belongings stolen and broken. Next, The Exorcist in 1973.
All right, let's see what to do. Keep away!
This hour is mine.
It is often referred to as the scariest horror movie in history. The movie is based on a novel written by Peter Blatty, which is based on a true story. The boy and his family never released his real name, so he is known to horror fanatics as Roland Doe, who was believed to be possessed by 10 demons. Next, The Strangers in 2008.
She's watching us.
She looks like a ghost. You want me to go talk to her?
They don't want to talk.
Well, they want something. People just don't stand out there staring at us like that. They want something.
This movie has psychopaths and murders. The director of this movie drew inspiration from the murders by serial killer Charles Manson and the series of events that took place near his childhood home. Next, A Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984.
I brought something out from my tree. Where did you get that? I grabbed it off his head.
In the 1970s, a group of Southeast Asian genocide refugees in the US suffered from such vivid night terrors that some refused to sleep. A few who eventually fell asleep died during their slumber despite being otherwise healthy. The condition was first dubbed Asian Death Syndrome, but was later called Sudden Unexplained Death Syndrome or Brugada Syndrome, and it was Craven's inspiration for his now famous uber-popular horror franchise. Next, The Possession in 2012.
Why is the box so important to you?
Don't know. Just his.
Slow down. Him.
Slow down!
I have no idea what I've got here.
Hebrew inscriptions.
The Possession is loosely based on a true story and is about a haunted wine cabinet, otherwise known as a daybook box. In both versions, fictional and real, strange and spooky things begin happening to the new owners of the box. What's even more chilling is that according to the Telegraph, the cast and crew also experienced supernatural events while filming. This included exploding light bulbs, chilly drafts on set, and a mysterious fire with no source that destroyed the film's props. Next, Fire in the Sky in 1993. Though the legitimacy of his story is questioned to this day, a man named Travis Walton claimed he was abducted by aliens in 1978. Missing for 5 days, Travis appeared out of the blue and lived to tell his story even though it was met with disbelief by many. Next, The Conjuring in 2013.
Look what she made me do.
Ed?
Fan of possessed dolls? The Conjuring focuses on the supposed real-life haunting of the Perron family's Rhode Island farmhouse back in the 1970s. Next, The Watcher in 2016. The Watcher tells the story of recent true crime events regarding a young couple moving into a New Jersey home and immediately finding they had made a mistake moving into this particular home. The couple, who also moved children into the home, started getting odd letters put into their mailbox. There have been theories over the years about who was sending these letters from neighbors or even looking into the family themselves, but the Watcher has never been found. Monster in 2003. The movie focuses on Vurnos's life as a sex worker, her relationship with a woman called Selby, and her eventually killing clients. It's still a terrifying depiction of a real-life serial killer that is inherently scary. Next, The Stepfather in 1987. The movie saw the titular stepfather murder his family, relocate, remarry, and plan to murder his next family, portraying him as a serial killer. The real events saw John List killing his entire family and move on as if nothing had happened. The bodies weren't discovered until a month after, and List wasn't caught until 18 years after the murders. List had relocated and remarried without anyone realizing his sinister past, but there was no strong evidence that he was planning to kill again, as the movie suggests. Next, Amityville Horror in 1979. Jay Anson interviewed the couple, and the book that Anson wrote is considered more accurate than the movie version that was rewritten from the book. The movie apparently took many liberties with its source material, but the truth remains that the couple and children were haunted throughout their month living in the house. Before you go to sleep, don't forget to look under your bed. And also, if you're too scared, then Cinematic has also many videos as per your mood preferred genre. You can anytime check them out.